Jane and Sharon are single family and starting to become multifamily investors as well. They used to live up here in the Baltimore area and then left us and went down to beautiful Sarasota, Florida to retire and continue their real estate investing career. They've done probably between helping people and their own deals, they've probably done a couple hundred deals across, is it 10 states or 11 states? 11 states so far. I'm sure you guys like
looking
for the
to
rest of them
expand always.
looking to expand. So they're tremendously successful. They got a wonderful heart. They're always looking to teach. They actually run the virtual REI Academy, which is I'll let them kind of go into it a little bit, but it's a great resource for single family, and there's actually also a couple of courses in there for people that are beginning in multifamily as well. So Jane and Sharon, I'll turn it over to you guys.
Get the ability to share the screen, please.
You're a host. Oh, you know what? You came in separately, right?
I'm sorry, I came in late.
That's okay. Hold on.
The second part came in late.
Yeah.
I can log off to make it.
No, that's okay. I don't know how many people I can make withdraw. All right, that's not you. Let's see. Make co-host.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, so both of your connections are co-hosts now. Oh, there you go.
I logged off still.
Okay, slideshow. There we go. You want to talk about the
Hey guys, so I guess most of you know we've been doing this probably about 13 months now, I think, somewhere along there, a little over a year. So this is brought to you by, we've just been doing every Tuesday, we're doing a Teaching Tuesday, and it's brought to you by Virtual REI Academy. There's the website. We we also have a YouTube channel, so if you can't stay the whole time or if you miss it, it's always up on there. And we have a ton of classes. We're just adding another one and then probably 2 or 3 more, and just trying to add value. So go ahead and check out the website. And yeah, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some mindset and some books that we kind of keep us going or that we reread when we need to.
And when we start with mindset, I know a lot of people don't, it's like, don't really want to get into the mindset. They want to get into the nitty gritty and actually get into the real estate investing. But it also does start out with your why. And you really do have to have a clear why and take some time to really think about it and know exactly why you're doing this, so that you have a roadmap and that you can get through your goals and every day and work toward them. There's people that I know that have whiteboards that they use. They have vision boards. They journal. Might go, into a cloud map and look it up. Whatever it takes, write it down and become very clear on that and that goal. And you wake up thinking about it. Some people obsess over it, which is great. Start taking an action step every day toward that goal. And the clearer that your why is, then the more easily that you'll be able to map it out and make those achievements. Jane and we really did struggle with mindset from the beginning because we just wanted to jump in there and do real estate. We weren't thinking about mindset and our why. We'd just get in there and go, go, go. So we did have to jump back and step out and really analyze and look at our why, and really understood the importance of that. And really building that roadmap and, going along the journey. This real estate investing is really a journey that you're taking. And, all of our successes is going to look different. All of our whys is going to look different. And, that's great. We all have our different ways and paths to go to get to where we want to go and, to get to our success. We're not competing with everybody else. We're all helping each other along the way. And we, like Jane and we would focus on getting the properties, due diligence, the numbers, the evaluating. And then we realized that isn't our why. That's actually our what. So, went back to the basics and created a strong why so that we could have that direction. And if you don't have it, then people burn out very quickly. They're running and doing deal after deal after deal, and then you burn out because you don't have that direction that you take. So it is important. It is important to go back and, reevaluate and make sure that your why is lining up with, your goals and values. And, you know, it's someone with that strong why is able to push through the adversity and, you know your true purpose behind your action. And a challenge, and no challenge is going to prevent you from obtaining your goals. And with your why, you want to identify in your real estate, take some time to reflect, ask yourself questions like, what is my long-term financial goals? How can real estate investing really help me achieve them? You know, you got to kind of reverse engineer, look at what your end goal, and then figure out, you know, how many houses you have to flip, how many rentals that you have to own, and, you know, work backwards to see what you have to do each year, each month, and sometimes each day. There's very successful coaches and mentors that we have that they don't just plot out their schedule for the day. They'll do it every 15 minutes, and they're very sharp and on point. And, you know, they schedule out their day, and you do the important things in the morning when you first wake up, because that's when you're fresh, your mind's sharp. You know, you have their, you know, you're meeting new people, getting things together and doing things first thing. How do I want real estate investing to contribute to my personal and lifestyle objectives? Make sure you know, fit it into what's important to you. If you have children, make sure that you spend time with the kids and that you schedule it out, just like if you had, you know, a regular 9-to-5 job, working another job or a career, you want to schedule it out the same way. So that way you have, you know, time for what's important to you for your health, your family, friends. You want a balance. And what impact do I want? Oh, you can let him in. He's okay. Okay. He's good. What impact do I want my real estate investments to have on my future and the lives of my loved ones? Jane and I always think about the legacy that we want to leave for future generations, not just for us and our loved ones, but for, you know, to try to make the world a better place than we left it. And, you know, a lot of times with the responsibility of having kids and wanting to leave the legacy, you also do have to teach them. You can't just leave them everything and expect them to know how to run the company and do what you do. So it's a big responsibility when you know, somebody becomes wealthy and they just hand over their wealth to their siblings, their offspring, because it's, you know, they're not going to know what to do with it. So it's important to also not just to leave the legacy, but to let the people understand what you're leaving to them so that they can continue. And what values and principles are important to me, and how do they align with my real estate investment strategy? Ensure your strategy matches your principles and values. Like, we think it's important to preserve and protect the environment. So leveling land for more buildings does not always feel good to us. If necessary, we would like to build the complex with a lot of green space and ensure that things are, you know, we're not taking all the energy and we're doing things more sustainably, kind of like that green. Do you want to add anything to it, or is that good? And you know, I know some of this, you know, sounds goofy, you know, whiteboarding and reflecting and all in your whys, but if you do it regularly in a way that works best for you, find out what works best for you and what feels more comfortable with you. You know, meditate. Like, I like to go out into nature and just look at the animals, watch, and just reflect. Other people do things different ways. I've heard people that actually put, you know, their reflections or their whys on sticky notes and put it in their bathroom mirror. That way, that's the first thing they see when they wake up in the morning, and the last thing they see before they go to bed at night, you know, using the bathroom, brushing your teeth, going to bed. And the mindset that you adopt in real estate and investing really does impact your success. And there's a lot of, you know, positive effects that come with real estate investing. And here's a few, oops, I'm sorry, this is in the way. Here's a few of our favorite mindset books that we've read throughout the years. Our original mentor actually had us read the One Thing book. before he would even work with us. And he would, throughout the year, have several masterminds where he would pick a mindset book and have different people read different chapters. He would ask you to pick the chapter that really resonated with you, and then go in front of the room and do a short presentation on it and your interpretation of it.
And I guess each one of these books has something a little bit different. And I was never like really a big reader. Again, just wanted to stop the fluff and run and gun and go find deals and all that stuff. So kind of put me in a place with reading. And each one of these books is a little bit different thing for us. And the one thing was kind of important. And I think it's kind of important for all real estate people because, and with us, I don't think it's like shiny penny syndrome or whatever that is, but it's, like you hear about something and you're like, oh my God, that sounds so cool. I want to learn about it. So it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I can go get rich with this, but it was more, we weren't finished learning about the one thing or doing a deal or doing, rentals or doing whatever it was. And then we were running off to the other thing. So the one thing kind of put us in our place, like just focus on one thing, get it down pat before you move on to the other thing, get good at that one thing and then move on. So that kind of put some things in. And then just some of these other books, we really super love Frank McKenzie. He's a Richard Branson kind of fella down here in Florida, and it's somebody that, we've got to kind of talk to and hang out with periodically. And he just has a different, a different philosophy about a lot of things. He, was a troublemaker and got in trouble, and just, everybody kind of wrote him off, and he's done a lot of great things with, just believing in himself, aspiring, to be what everybody said he couldn't. Recently had a health battle where everybody said, you're not going to make it, and that adversity. And, not only did he make it, he's stronger than ever. So just a really cool guy. So anything he writes, we try to grab onto. Another good book for us was, Who, Not How, because we don't know how to do everything. We never will, but it's who in our life, can we reach out to? Obviously, a big one right here, multifamily. If we stumble into something that we won't know what to do with, we have a lot of who's, in our life that we can just pick up the call and say, hey, we found this, what can we do with it? Or can you help us, etc. So a lot of who's out there, in your groups, and, try to get involved in as many groups as you can, and, focus on, not so much learning everything on how to do it, but, who can help you, who you can help. There's a lot of people out that also need your help. So, being accessible for that. So that was a good book that we really like. Real Estate by the Numbers. Another, actually he's a Atlanta, but then a Baltimore guy. And now we're lucky to have him down here with us, Jay Scott. And, this book is really good. And, for me, it's because numbers aren't my thing, although I can evaluate a deal and do all that stuff. But there's some other things you really have to pay attention to the numbers. So it kind of hones in on that. That's a great book. One of our coaches is JT Fox, and this is more of a has a lot of different strategies, a lot of different things practical things that you can do. But it's a great business book, a great real estate book, and really keeps you focused on keeping things on track and what to do. What else we got? And then John Maxwell, he's kind of whatever he writes, we try to grab onto, but especially like Failing Forward, because anybody that does this long enough is going to fail, and they're going to fail. You try not to fail all the time and really hard. And the biggest thing is don't repeat your mistakes. So if you make a mistake, it's kind of okay, but don't do the same thing twice. And then, but you're always failing forward. So, it kind of goes back to mindset. You just keep getting clobbered with different things and things not working and failing at this and failing at that. And then you kind of look back and you're like, wow, I'm way ahead of where I was, last month or last year. Sometimes we would kind of we'd be closing houses and not really celebrating the wins, and, just kind of like, concentrating on the things that we lost or the things that we didn't do well or some other things. And then you kind of look back and it's like, wow, okay, well, we did 20 deals in the last couple of months, or, whatever. So you always want to be failing forward. So anything with John Maxwell is a pretty decent read. The front row factor is kind of interesting, and I was spoiled very early on with my sister got tickets to Bruce Springsteen when I was a senior in high school. She stood in line for a very long time, and we were in the front row of I don't know, 5-hour Bruce Springsteen concert back in 81. So I haven't really liked anything but the front row since. But it's just kind of, you have to, enjoy the experiences. Like, we all work really hard, and you're that's what you're kind of working for. So you want to have the experiences, and, it's always good to be in the front row. Sure, you can be in the back row, but if you can be in the front row, kind of strive towards that. And then Emotional Intelligence is a really good book, about keeping your emotions about you and how other people affect you, and, things you can do to not let outside things kind of bring you down, or, just kind of keeping that emotional level that you can succeed. And I think the last one is anything in the Go Giver series is it's always good to give back. Kind of what we try to do here on Tuesdays is always giving back to people. And when you do give back, it usually comes back to you somehow. And if it doesn't, you still did a good thing by giving people, things that they needed to help them in this crazy thing we call life. So there's some of my favorite books, and Sharon's favorite books that we keep them on the shelf, and sometimes we read them over. I usually take them on an airplane and try to skim through some of the ones that we like, as just a reminder, just kind of like mindset. Sometimes you need a reminder. You go, and then you kind of get stuck, or you're just in a rut, or, life happens and somebody, kicks you down when you're down a little bit. So you kind of got to get back up and, keep the mindset going and do a reset. And sometimes it's just reading a couple chapters in a book, or, somebody kicking you in the ass and say, let's go, or, just kind of resetting your goals, because that changes too. What you thought was important to you last year might not be important this year. Business partners come and go, family members come and go, friends come and go. So you just kind of have to, reset every once in a while. We try to do that, at least every 6 months. Sometimes it's sooner. Sometimes stuff happens that makes us reset like every day. But, just kind of get things and grab a book, go to the beach and read a book and reset, and then get back on it. Oh, back to you.
And real estate is, you can see here the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. The growth mindset, mistakes will help me learn. The fixed mindset, I want to avoid all mistakes. The growth mindset, feedback is valuable. The fixed mindset, I will never be that smart, or people who don't want to take advice or improve upon themselves. I improve with practice. I know what's best, people that are closed-minded. And then people that are, this will work, and other people just want to give up. Real estate is a long-term investment. You have to have that patient mindset that focuses on long-term growth rather than the short-term gains. And we're continuously learning. Like Nicole said, she's done it for years and years, and she's still learning. You grow and learn as you brush up on the new skills, or make your skills even better. You want to keep up with the market trends, the different strategies, investments, the regulations that's coming down, maybe best practices. Jane and I like to look at past deals. We'll go and analyze a deal and brainstorm about that deal and how we can do it better next time. We don't dwell on what we did wrong and the money that we left on the table. We'll just say, hey, there's room to improve. The next time we'll do it this way and see what happens. And be resilient. Real estate investing often involves facing challenges and setbacks. And of course, those failures that Jane was talking about and failing forward. You want to develop that resilient mindset that helps you bounce back from those setbacks and learn from those mistakes and persevere. Sometimes it does get lonely. Real estate's very lonely. It's good that you're able to bounce off of other people and get things off your chest and work with like-minded individuals. Brainstorm with a group of people. A group setting is a great way to create deals and to tackle the deals that you're looking into. Like just the other day, we were looking at a couple deals with Nicole, and she helped us out and put us into perspective. You can offer each other encouragement, motivation, accountability, overcome challenges and setbacks, stop those self-limiting beliefs. And, if you want to be creative and adaptable, real estate investing requires a lot of creativity. That's what Jane and I loved, looking and creating ways to make a deal happen. You want to adapt and navigate in different situations. We say yes to opportunities, seize those opportunities. Look, always, motivate each other, motivate yourself to move forward and just excel and do better. You want to be flexible, think outside the box and adapt. Focus on value creation. Real estate investors create value you want to create that value for your tenants and your communities and yourselves, as well as other investors and lenders. Build profit centers that you can add value as well. When you're making something better for a tenant, you're adding maybe, a lot of people don't allow animals in their rental houses. Maybe, you make you add that you can have those animals in the houses, and then you're building a profit center for yourself too, because you can create that pet rent as well, add extra for the pets being in the house. And then you do things like the waterproof vinyl flooring and different things so that the animals don't tear up the house as easily, and add extra insurance on it. So you come up with creative ways and adapt and always strategize. And you want to have that financial discipline. You want to stick with a budget, conduct thorough financial analysis, and avoid those impulsive decisions based on emotions. Like a lot of us real estate investors that's been doing it for a while, the newer people, they get some money in their pocket and they run out and they buy that expensive car, or they buy a house that's, that they're going to be house poor and spend all the money on the house. Don't fall into that trap. We don't get into that, and don't try to front and go out there and buy the lavish things and front like you're a billionaire. And we also learn not to fall in love with the property or in the investment deal. Don't jump into a situation that's not a good deal. A lot beginners do fall in love, and some people continue to fall in love with the deal after they've been doing it a while. And another big mistake we've seen is people over improving the property. They're making too many improvements or too big of rehabs for that neighborhood. Yeah, we've seen other people do it, and we've done it at the beginning. Putting things in the house that the most expensive house in that street doesn't even have, and then you're not going to make any more money on that house than if you wouldn't have added the large high ticket improvement.
And then you'll be sad when it's a rental and they tear it up.
Exactly. We've done that too. We've had that where we had to, the market changed, and, we have exit strategies. So we put all these high end bells and whistles in a house thinking it was going to sell. It was Baltimore City. And we turned it into a rental, and unfortunately they tore it up, and it is heartbreaking. It really is. I'm sure many of you have been there. And, real estate investing, it's important to have coaches, mentors, and groups like the virtual REI Academy. It's, you have like-minded people. There's so many people and I'm sure all of our lives that are negative and they don't understand real estate investing. They think it's a scam, it's illegal, it won't work. So you want to surround yourself with people that are more successful than you, that are like-minded, that are positive, that you have that mindset that that you can move, that this will work and that you can succeed, and a group that you can bounce ideas off each other, that you build deals together, you create deals, partnerships, then you're always teaching and learning and growing, for everybody, knowledge and experience. It can provide valuable insights, strategies, best practices. It's better to learn from others' failures so that you can minimize your own. Yeah, that's one thing. There's so many people out there that have to learn from their own mistakes. They can learn from other people's mistakes very easily, not commit the mistakes. And it'll help you avoid those same common mistakes that a lot of other people ahead of you have made. And it, creates this guidance and support. It offers, personalized guidance for specific goals, challenges, and your skill level, whether you are a beginner or a very well-versed, skilled real estate investor. It's great to still continue. They look at the professional athletes. They have coaches and mentors, and they hang in groups and they work together all the time, from rookies all the way till retirement. And the accountability is huge. It'll help work toward that goal that you set and stay on task. Everybody holds each other accountable. You know each other's goals, they know your goals. And then, it's embarrassing to come to the group if you haven't done anything, if you got lazy that week, if you, have a weekly group or a monthly group, or working with your mentor and coach, and they asked you what you've done this week and you've had, your goals set and you haven't done any of them. So it's, just like exercise classes, people exercise more easily when you do it in a group or go to the gym instead of sitting at home and doing it. It's easy to just, get lax and say, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. This gives you the accountability that you don't want to, embarrass yourself, and you're kind of a little fun competition with each other. And you have networking opportunities to build relationships within the networks. You get to know, like, and trust each other, and you can create like lending partnerships, collaborations. You have access to better deals, more deals, resources, like especially in the REI Academy group, it's got resources in there for like tax accountants, for different forms, for, all kinds of different ways to get involved in real estate investing, and opportunities that you might not have otherwise, and access to resources like educational materials, market research, investment tools, contracts, those sort of things, and connections. And it really does build your confidence once you start investing in real estate and getting deals out, and starting to do new things. Then you realize this works, and then you get more confident and you're excited to get on to, fill your pipeline and go to the next deal, and then the next deal. Pretty soon you've got 50 or 60 deals under your belt. And it's so important for the experienced investors as well. This isn't just for beginners. Like I was saying, you're staying updated. The markets and the regulations change and evolve all the time. So you want to stay updated on the trends, strategies, and all these legal changes, especially a couple ones that are coming down the pike lately. The mentors and networking groups provide a place to learn about the developments in the industry. You get new perspectives. Seasoned investors might become set in their ways or overlook different approaches to real estate investing. This exposes investors to fresh perspectives, fresh perspectives and new strategies and different ways to invest that they might have not have thought about or considered before. And you want to expand those networks and those professional networks. It provides opportunities to connect with other investors and potential partnerships or collaborators. And it opens the door for resources, insights, opportunities. And you get that specialized knowledge. They always say the riches are in the niches. Experienced investors might want to get into the new areas of real estate. Unless you say niches, then I don't know what that rhyme would be. Accountability and support. It's all, experience level, you always want that accountability. It's, you want to maintain that focus and that discipline. And, the motivation, you lose your motivation at the beginning, the middle, the end, all throughout your investing career. There were so many different times where you have a bad day and, you're like, I'm just going to give up. I'm going to quit. And then you just go to bed or, put it down for a little bit and then come right back to it and get your motivation up again. What do they say? If you have how many good days in a year, you're going to be successful. What does it say? Like 60 good days a year, you'll be, if you have 60 good days in a year, you'll be a success. And you can offer insights into mitigating risks and drawing from experiences and expertise. And you always want to be growing. You always want to be learning. It's a lifetime journey. And experienced investors who continue to seek the knowledge are the ones that are going to have that long-term success, and they're going to reach their goals, and they're going to get to their whys and have a good life and good success. I wanted you guys to share your stories on mindset, or what made an impact on you and your real estate journey, or maybe share a book that you like. That you might have a book or something that really resonated with you or helped you with your journey.
And I guess I should have put Stedman's book on there as a favorite.
No. Yeah, he was an incredible guy. We got to meet Stedman. He's amazing. So we'll quit sharing so we can open it up for questions. Oops, that was not it.
Okay.
I'll stop there. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go.
Who's got a favorite book?
What was that?
Who has a favorite book or a story or something that motivates them, gets them up in the morning, gets them to get towards their why, or any kind of.
Cool House Girl.
Thank you. I'm actually reading one of the books you guys had on your pager.
Which
Sorry.
one?
JT's.
Okay, that's a great book.
Yeah, I think I'm like in chapter 5 or 6, but reading it for the second time.
That's usually an airplane. That's an airplane book, so I'll try to skim through it again.
Yeah, let's pick it up, read a chapter, digest it a little bit. But that's kind of like all these books. I think if you go through and read them all, it's like you miss a lot of things. So I think like if you go in and do a chapter and then kind of like focus on that chapter.
Yep.
And really take the nuggets out of the chapter and then either, if it hits home, you start implementing them into your system or whatever you're working on. And it's that way you're not overloading yourself with the whole entire book is what I found works out well for me.
That's a great idea. That's how I would do it too. Yes, it's hard. It is, when you try to sit down and read that whole book, you do forget a lot. So
By the way, we missed you.
I know. I missed you guys too. It's like I didn't get to see you last week. I forget what was going on. But yeah, I had I was like, man, I got to get on here and come see you guys. Hi, James.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
And Nicole's on here too. Is she on here too?
Oh,
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I heard a lot of great things about your guys' event up in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
amazing.
thank you.
I was I was upset that I didn't get to make it for it, but I heard a lot of great things and I hope to catch you guys on the next one.
Bodie was
They do
there. That was the most exciting part.
What's that?
Bodie was there. They brought the dog. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good time.
He was very well.
Well, we do put him to work. He's searching for multifamily now. He's got his own email and Facebook page and all that. So
He's sniffing them out, isn't he?
yeah, he is. I like that, sniffing them out.
That's cute.
that slide that you guys
I know.
had, as like I don't know, slide 3 or 4 or 5, the one about mindset, where you got the two brains on the right and then the different bullet points. That's amazing. I mean, that really, really encompasses so much of what you need to do to be successful in the business. If you guys will send that to me, I think we ought to send it out to everybody on the mailing list. And if you guys are on now, you want to take a screenshot of it once you puts it back up. That was really, really good. Really
I
well done.
appreciate that. Absolutely. I'll definitely send that out. I'll email
And
it to you.
then Andrew Huberman, who's I guess a scientist or professor, whatever it is, out of Berkeley, has a podcast, and he talks a lot about mindset. And he just did one a little while ago. So, I mean, it's long. It's like 2 hours long, but he's got all the scientific evidence. He quotes all the papers and stuff like that. So it can get a little dry, but it's amazing the kind of achievements you can have. If you guys haven't had a chance, anybody hasn't had a chance to listen to him in those specific podcasts, it's pretty amazing stuff.
All right.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, we jotted it down. You always have some good books and ideas. Yeah.
So I would add 3 or 4 of my favorite books just to this. And then one of the things I discovered that's not a book that I really got a lot from. So I really like the book, Who Moved My Cheese? The Fifth Discipline. I really like, it's an old one, Built to Last. It kind of goes through a lot of different companies that are still around and why they're still around. And one of my all-time favorites is a really old one. It's Stephen Covey's, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yes, that's a good one too.
What's on the shelf over there?
So one of the things that an old friend of mine introduced me to is called the Strength Finder. And it's an online, it's a kind of a personality test. There's a free one and there's one that costs money. And the free one gives you your top 4 or 5 strengths. But what it does is it says that most people tend to focus on improving their weaknesses. I got to get better at this. I got to get better at that. And there's a lot of evidence that says if you understand your strengths and focus on your strengths, you get a whole lot further down the road because you're working to those things that are naturally interesting to you and that you're naturally good at. And when you're building a team, you try and figure out that the people you're working with have different strengths. So if anybody's interested in that stuff, I would go take the Strength Finder and then just find out where your strengths are and how you can focus on those rather than us always focusing on our weaknesses. So that's what I would add to this. Good job, you guys. I like that slide too.
Thank you. I appreciate
There's a good book called and I think it's more for like when you're building like a pretty big business, but it's called Traction.
Yeah.
And that's kind of exactly what it is, putting the right
people in
the right person in the right place, because if you're trying to do something that you're either not good at or you hate, or it becomes like it's torture for them. They're not going to do a good job. But if you can pull that strength and put them where they're best suited, then they'll flourish, the company will flourish, and everybody will be happy.
It's funny, we saw that firsthand. There was one of our original mentors, he hired this lady, and he put her in the wrong place. And she like did very poorly. She was calling in sick a lot, not showing up for the meetings and all. She was mentally exhausted, and we thought, she appeared to be like lazy, didn't want to do work and this and that. And then he actually read the book Traction and put her in a different, I guess he, talked to her, interviewed her, see where her strengths were, and put her in a different capacity. And now she's flourishing and doing great and, working above and beyond. So there's, we saw it firsthand. There was really something to that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Anybody else with a favorite book or mindset or free topics?
Yeah, you can ask a question about, single family real estate, investing, anything. It doesn't have to be mindset or books.
This is Emma. I recently read Millionaire Real Estate Investor, and I liked it a lot.
Awesome. Did you implement anything that you read?
Trying to determine exactly what my criteria are and stick to them. Don't get influenced by seeing maybe something at a very good price, but it doesn't meet all your criteria. So
Good advice.
Then you get into that analysis paralysis. You're afraid to move forward if everything doesn't line up perfectly, which it never does, right?
Yeah, that is another issue I'm working on, and I understand might become an issue.
And we all do fall into that. We look at deals and, they're good deals and something you can work with. And then you try to talk yourself out of it and give a million reasons why the deal doesn't work and not to do the deal when it actually is a good deal. We've been there. Sometimes we err too much on the side of caution. So I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
I went to,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, no, I was going to say, I was going to tell you a little story today about that. So
Awesome.
I went today, I met with another investor, and he's got one house that's in like one area of town, and he lives down in South Carolina, which is probably from this house, maybe a 45-minute drive. So he's like, hey, he goes, I know you're down in this area, wonder if you can come meet me out at the house. I was like, sure, I'll go walk through with you. And the particular house that he has, I've driven by, I can't tell you how many times. And I thought, I was like, I probably need to call on this house, right? And, but this house was a mess. I'm talking a mess. And so I was like, so walking around it with him, and I was like, all right, I said, I got to ask you, so how much did you end up buying this for? And he goes, well, I had to work through a bunch of errors in order to be able to get this done. And I found, this problem, and then I had to solve it, right? And so he says, well, I got the house for $15,000. And I was like, okay. I said, well, that's fantastic. I said, but you need to tear it down now and just go ahead and build new, because this thing is horrible. And he goes, why? He goes, I think it's going to take like $75,000 to repair it. I'm like, and give or take, that's like a 1,300 square foot house. But I'm like, looking at this thing, like trees fell on the roof. So the roof needs to get done. There's structural issues. There's windows, all your M&P stuff, like everything needs done. I'm like, you're easily 90 to 105,000 in this. And he's like, oh, I can get this done for 75. I'm like, have at it, my friend. I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, take a word of advice. I'm like, you're 15 into it right now. You look at the high side, you bought the land beside it. I'm like, I would just tear it down and build 2 brand new houses.
No doubt. Yeah.
But, he took it, because I passed by it several times. So like that was an opportunity that I could have done. But, it's, again, at the end of the day, like I knew that had the errors thing with it. And I'm not diving down that rabbit hole.
How much land is it?
Well, and yeah, funny story too.
I mean, like maybe 0.4 acres. I mean, it's not like super. Yeah.
We did the same thing. We're taking Bodie to the dog park every day, and there's this one house. The grass was like, I knew it was whatever. Then we started researching it. Found out some people died. It was a reverse mortgage, and everybody we kind of talked to said, "Oh, don't deal with the reverse mortgage." Blah blah blah. And guess what showed up in my inbox? A friend sent it to me and said, "Hey, my friend over in Sarasota has this house," and I'm like, "Oh."
And then we told him that we, in a reverse mortgage, he's like, I'm good at that. You guys know me, but reach out to me if you ever get anything like this. We can work together. And it's like,
So he was a who that I didn't know, like knew about reverse mortgages, and somebody we just like recently started talking.
So a deal slipped through our fingers
Yeah.
because of that, you know,
So now I got to drive by that every day and
reminder.
failing forward.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of those houses, both that we've, have bought, that we've, fixed and flipped and then sold way before like the markets did what they have done. That we all sit there and shake our heads like, oh, I could have kept that one. I should have done this one. I should have,
Woulda,
shoulda,
shoulda,
coulda,
coulda.
woulda,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
My favorite saying.
yeah, I mean, it's the unfortunate thing, that's the knowledge side of this stuff. The more that you're reading the books, the more that you're engaging these groups, the more that you're putting yourself out there to learn. Not so much about the analysis paralysis, because that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
They always say any good deal is the ones that you can walk away from, because you have to be able to understand when you need to walk away from those ones, as well as, hey, I need to take this one on because it is a really good deal. Like the numbers work. And there's going to be some that are close, but a lot of people, failed forward because of COVID and the appreciation values of these properties, and they overspent and they did all the things. And then they come back in and they're like, hey man, I did really good on that one. And, patting themselves on the back. And it's like, if that was in 2018, before COVID, or 2019, when the market wasn't, going up as much as it was in that 2021, phase, they would have been singing a different tune. Especially now,
Yes.
they're singing different.
They
Yeah.
are, and then there's not as many wholesalers out there because they were just able to grab a house and throw it out there and it would get grabbed up quickly. And now, they're realizing was a
Yeah, it's
anomaly.
not. Well, if you think about it, with the cycles, I mean, 2007 and 8 was very similar, right? In the same bell curve that we have now. So we were at the top in 7 and 8, and then and then obviously 8 and 9, it was heading down. So it's running in that same sequence, the same cycle.
I was gonna say we were fortunate. Like, I mean, we didn't start till like late 2016, but we came in when it was kind of we've always been conservative. So, it was harder to find deals, I think, and harder to meet our numbers. But and then like we just didn't buy into that COVID stuff with, oh, I'm gonna overpay by 50,000. We have not deferred from our numbers.
We were nervous anyway because it was hard to find the contractors. The materials were not existent and sky high. And we figure if we did this, then by the time we get the contractors in place, the materials and all, the market's going to fall. And we're going to be stuck holding this asset. And we've seen so many other investors do that. And we just put on the brakes. I think Emma had something in the chat. Emma, did you have something in the chat you wanted to speak about? Oh, you're on mute. I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry about that.
No, no worries.
No, that's me. Sorry.
So this is a house that I'm interested in. I just found it a day ago, but I wanted to ask your opinion. It's a multifamily house with 4 units. If you would like, I can share, or I don't know, you can find it on Zillow. But what I'm concerned with is handling tenants in a multifamily house if when it comes to renewing leases. It's a matter of equity, like everybody should pay the same if it's the same apartment square footage or not. I'm just wondering.
I mean, my opinion, they don't have to be paying the same amount, because not necessarily every apartment's created equal. So some might have a little bit different benefits than the others. If they're like true identical, then sure. I mean, just it's kind of like, a lot of people don't like to talk about what they're paying for rent. It's just kind of like that quiet thing.
Yeah.
But and the same side, I mean, because some people may have been there longer, so therefore they may not, their rents may be less. But James and Nicole, I'm sure, can chime in on this a lot more because they, or even Sharon and Jane, deal a lot more with the multifamily space. But I mean, there's plenty of times in like apartment complexes or like quads. One tenant's been there for 4 or 5 years, so they're paying $600-700, and you got a tenant that's just moving in that's paying $900.
Yeah.
If they're all moving in at the same time and every place is the exact same and market rents $950, then to me, all of them would be paying $950.
I see. Makes sense.
So for me, I don't, when I advertise, I don't most of the time even advertise at a certain rent. I agree that that you don't have to, nor probably should you have everybody at the same rent. We offer people upgrades if they would like to have a like ceiling fans put in, or they would like to have different kinds of a painting of a certain room, a certain color, or they have other things that they may want. We put a microwave in. We might put a washer and a stackable washer and dryer in if we can for something. And all of those equal different rents. And so it depends on what the unit looked like. But I'm always trying to improve the unit a little bit. And I don't actually ever do a renewal of the lease. I do an anniversary present. Because if somebody has been, it's an anniversary celebration where they come in and they're going to update the lease, but they're also getting some kind of gift that's going to help the apartment. But these are the people who theoretically have been paying on time, have taken good care of your property, and you don't want them to leave. And one of the things we do consistently, it's one of my pet peeves in this world, is that we pay attention to the people who don't pay, and we ignore the people who are good tenants, pay on time, and do everything we ask. We never recognize them. We never thank them. And so for me, the answer to that is kind of an anniversary gift and other kinds of little things you can do to recognize good tenants. And so the rents may go up every year. I mean, I kind of feel like that's one of my jobs, to make sure the property is constantly, kind of improving the cash flow and improving the value. But I try and really focus on carrots with people, on recognizing what they're doing good. And I don't focus on everybody paying the same or getting the same.
That's a great idea. Gift card. Thank you.
Card. So they're not going to go out and buy frivolous stuff. Most of the time, they're going to go in and do what? They're going to improve something at the house, right? They're going to paint, they're going to do some flowers, they're going to do something else that's going to do some value to the house. So it's in turn, like if I'm doing that, I've done some where like I've given them a TV because I've gone in, they still got the old boob tubes, the big boxy 400-pound TVs. Yeah. So there's something like that where, you may spend $250-300 on a TV, but if they've been there for a couple of years, something like that, it's a very small gesture, but to Nicole's point, it goes a long way, I think.
Well, and if you remember, your biggest controllable expense is turnover.
Yep.
Yes. What I was just going to say.
And so, you really want to keep people. So I was just looking because I did a social media post. Our average length of stay for our apartments now is close to 4 years.
Wow.
Fantastic.
And in the country, it's a little over a year. So we just treat people better. We try and recognize things, and to your point, we do things that are going to benefit the apartment. So we are slowly kind of taking out all carpet and putting in laminates and things like that. We're upgrading bathrooms a little bit here and there. So things that don't cost too much, shampooing, carpets, painting, repainting. So I know people who are renting houses and they've been there for 10 or 15 years and the landlord doesn't raise the rent so much, but they also have never done anything to improve the unit. So the value of their house or the unit goes down instead of going up. And so benefit tenant, benefit you.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah, I got one tenant that I could think of right now that, I mean, if I went there, the place is clean, it's well taken care of, it's manicured, like, you know, I have nothing to worry about with her. She pays on time, you know, and every year I go up on her rents, you know, $50 or $75 or something like that. And she just knows it's coming, but she also knows that I appreciate it. And then we show her and we give the fans and do, you know, whatever. Like I just went and put a new roof on the house, you know, she didn't ask for it and needed it. It's one of those things that it was started causing some problems, you know, and that's an expensive one. That's not something that she's paying for, but she is kind of paying for it. Right.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
but now she doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Right.
And then that doesn't create a bigger
Right,
problem
Joanne.
down the line.
All right. Anybody else? Any questions or all the night? Don't forget, next week we're gonna steal James and Nicole's guest and be on at 6:30 with the Corporate Transparency Act, which I'm actually interested in hearing that. You know, I know it's went into effect and you have a little bit of time to do it, but kind of need to know the ins and outs of that. I think all of us need to know that.
I'm gonna be
So-
taking notes.
So
Yes.
we'll be taking notes on that
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah, because that's the one that they'll be talking about the LLCs and what all you have to do to provide for it and all that.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Exactly. That'll be good content.
I think there's a lot
Yep.
of people running around saying it, but they don't really know what it is, or they shouldn't be teaching
Yeah.
on it. So we have a nice lawyer coming in to do
That
that.
knows what he's doing, talking about.
So very cool. All right, guys. We'll call it a night, and YouTube channel, it'll be up at the end of the week. Website should be working and fixed shortly. And that's it. And Emma, if you want to stay over for a few.
Bye, everybody.
Sure.
Bye,
Yeah.
young man.
Thanks,
I'm
Nicole. Thanks, James.
so
Thank
glad
you.
to
Thanks,
see
guys.
early investors.
That's
Yeah.
right. You gotta start
Little
them
guy.
young.
Yep.
All
Say
right,
bye.
bye.
Definitely.
Buenos
Thanks,
noches.
Daniel.